Hi and welcome to today's live stream from Logosol. My name is Andreas.
Anders?
And today we are going to show you how to set up for the first cut using the Logosol Sawmill and how to use the saw height scale on the Logosol Sawmill. If you are interested in Logosol and our products, please visit logosol.com where you can find prices, more information about products, and other things about Logosol. And you can also choose to sign up for our newsletter, which I think you should. If you click the banner on the top of the web page, you can sign up for the newsletter, which will give you the first newsletter will consist of the customer magazine, and we will send out a newsletter once a month, and it will contain inspiration in working with wood. It will also contain campaigns, information about new products, and so on. So please subscribe, and we will be happy to send more information your way. If you want to see our previous live streams, we've actually made quite a lot of live streams this spring and summer. Please visit our Facebook page, Logosol Portable Sawmills, or you can go to YouTube as well, and that's also Logosol Portable Sawmills on YouTube, where you will find all our previous live streams and also a lot of other movies that we made already on our products. So today we're going to demo the B751 Pro, but the thing we want to show you today is actually not using the sawmill perhaps, but more how to use the height scale to your advantage when setting up a new log and start milling it. So that's what we're going to look into today. If you have any questions, please write them in the chat and we'll try to answer as many questions as possible during the live stream. And also if you have suggestions on what to see, what you want to see in future live streams, just write the message in the chat and we'll plan for it for September or October. So I'm just gonna see if we can get the chat working. There we have the Facebook chat. And that's the YouTube chat. So let's get started with setting up for your first cut. And it's actually, before we start doing anything at all, we have to load the log, which we done already. And it's good to get an idea of what to get out of the log. And we're looking at the top end of the log here. I don't know, doesn't seem to be much of a
You have a little bit
top and bottom end.
Yeah.
So we'll just measure it and see that we have 14 inches. Right about, yeah. And we know that we want to make 2-inch planks or boards. So the only thing to worry about now is actually the width of the planks. So are we making 2x8s?
Yeah.
If we make a cant that's 8 inches wide, so I'll put the 4-inch in the center, and then I mark 4-inch from the center and down, and 4-inch from the center and up. That way we know that we will get the cant that's 8 inches wide when we're done. And now we can figure out if we can get some sideboards out of this as well. So that's the first thing you want to think about before you even start. I mean, it's much better to have a good idea of what you want out from this log before we start milling it, instead of trying to figure out while you're actually milling it what to get out of it. So perhaps we are going to use the toe board just a little bit to compensate for the taper in the log, even though this log isn't that much taper to it. But we can check. And one easy way of checking is to use the saw head or the bandsaw blade. So we actually we go down with the bandsaw blade on the bottom part of the log, the part that's furthest away from us, where the log is widest. And then we go over to this side where we want to compensate for the taper. So we measured, we put the bandsaw blade in contact with the log on the further side, and now we go back here and put the blade on the same height here. So to compensate for the taper, we now need to raise it up half the height. So we had 4 centimeters in difference. So we need to lift it up 2 centimeters on this side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really easy to use the saw head as your measuring device and just measure the difference. So now we can actually clamp the log against the log rests, and we can go down and hit the mark we made, which is 4 inches from the center of the log and up, and then we had another mark 4 inches down. So in total we will make a cant that's 8 inches thick that we will stand upright later and start making lumber out of it. So what do you think, Anders? Can we do a 1-inch board on top of that?
Yeah, we'll try.
With just it'll be a nice slab anyway. So now what we will do is take away the slab, and then we have the possibility to make a 1-inch live edge board that we can edge later on.
Yeah.
And then we actually use our last cut indicator to remember where the last cut was, and then we go down one turn and one additional increment for the curve. So now we will get one 1-inch board with a live edge. So now we made the cuts we're able to make on this side. So we'll use the log turner and just flip it around, and we'll turn it around 180 degrees. So we put the sawn side down. And the only thing we have to remember now is to put to lower the toe board, because now when we have a straight side, which is, I mean, it's lying on the previous side, so we don't have to compensate for the taper. So we're going to end at 8 inches. So now we can actually use the scale to position the saw blade on 8 inches, which means we have 8 inches below the saw blade. And that should line up pretty well with the markings we made. Yeah. So from there we can actually count up to see how many live edge boards we can get from here.
One.
So that's 1, 2, maybe. Should we go one more?
I think it's gonna be something, I think. See what we have. What's that?
Yeah. I think we'll go
Try?
with that. Yeah. So every time when Anders returns the saw head, he's got the last cut indicator, remembering the previous cut, and then he just goes down with one full turn on the handle and one increment, and we're ready to go again. So if we look at the scale now, we're at 9 inches and 1/8. And if we go one full turn and one increment, we're down on 1/8. So this is the last cut before we stand the cant upright.
See, we have them. We had a big knot sticking out on this side. So now when we have a cant that's 8 inches wide, we can put it, stand it upright and start making some planks out of this. But first we will do the same as we did from the start to see if we have to compensate for the taper in the log. So we'll run the saw head over there, measure the height of the cant, and mark it with the last cut indicator, and then we can go up and go back again and lower it to where the last cut indicator was, and we see that we have a very small taper. It's just 1 centimeter. I don't think we do.
So we don't. Yeah, we don't do anything about it. So we'll just cut away the
the slab. So I think we can make 2 cuts on this side. Or do you want to take a big slab like that? Yeah, we can do.
I think because it's like
Yeah,
have the
but I
color.
think we need to have we want the edge on this side.
Yeah,
So perhaps if we say take it in 2 turns.
yeah.
So if you go up,
See.
yeah. If we want to end there
Yeah, and I think
and then like
1 inch.
1 inch.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take 2 cuts, 2 runs here, and then turn it around, put it with flat surface down, and then we can start milling it up to planks. We can actually choose to continue milling from this side 2 or 3 more cuts and then turn it around. So it doesn't really matter, but we'll turn it around now, and then we're going to look at how to use the production scale in a good way. And now we can actually remove the log supports, because now we have an edge on the cross bank or log bed itself. So we can actually clamp the cant down in the bottom, and it's fixed. So now we can actually start milling this into planks or boards 2-inch thick, and we know that we are going to end with a 2-inch plank in the bottom. So we're going to use the production scale and the 2-inch setting on that one, and in this scale we already have the curve accounted for. So the only thing we need to think about now is when we make the first cut, we want to hit one of those 2-inch or one of those 2-inch lines. As long as we hit either one of them, we know that we will end with the 2-inch plank in the bottom. Oh, if you go up a bit, if you take that one, then we'll get a slab and then a board that's almost okay.
And then we have
Then we will get out
5 pieces of 2-inch.
Yeah, so we know right away just by looking at the scale that we will get out 5 2x8s.
Yes.
And we didn't have to measure or calculate anything at all, just using the built-in scale. And now we're actually, I mean, we can look at the scale for every new plank that we're making, or we can actually count the turns on the handle. So for a 2-inch board, we'll lower the saw head 2 turns and plus 1 increment for the curve. So that's how easy it is actually. If you're using the built-in scale on the bandsaw mills, and that's the same scale and the same system that we have on all our bandsaw mills. This is the B751 Pro, but it works exactly the same on the B751 and the B1001. So just an easy example of, as long as you have an idea of what you want to get out of the logs. Our idea was to get out 2 by at least 2-inch planks. And now with the size of this log, we decided to do 2 by 8. And we just made 2 markings on the log, and from that, using the scale and using the scale to at your advantage, we got out these 5 nice looking 2 by 8s, and the bottom one is also the same size as the rest, and it's really easy to work like this because we didn't have to think or calculate that much. We just measured once and then used the scales, and out of that, easy, we just mill this log into beautiful lumber. If you want to know more about Logosol, or if you want to come in contact with us, please visit our homepage, logosol.com, where you can find the contact details to the Logosol headquarters here in Sweden. You can send us an email at info@logosol.com, or you can also call us here in Sweden. You can find the contact number on logosol.com. And also all the prices are online in our web shop. I'm just going to check to see if we have any questions before we end the live stream today. Hello, Russia. Hello from Brazil. And also, if you go to our YouTube channel or Facebook page, you can find our previous live streams where we are demoing, getting more into detail with the bandsaw mills and the accessories for the bandsaw mills, and we will go more into detail with the chainsaw mills and also how to mill with the chainsaw mills. So we have a lot more to see on the YouTube channel or our Facebook page. So no more questions. Do we want to add anything, Anders?
No, I think we had everything in it.
Yeah, I mean, the idea with this was to show how easy it is to use our bandsaw mills, and how easy it is to get out lumber from your logs. And it didn't take much tinkering or calculating.
No. As long as you have an idea what you're gonna do.
Exactly. I mean, you have to know what you want to get out of it at first. And that's what we knew, and we just made some markings on the end of the log, and out of that came these boards. So
and then we get the 1 inches.
exactly, planks. We have the side boards and planks here that we can actually put up on the sawmill again, and edge them off so we can get lumber out of that as well. So, but that's all for this live stream. Hopefully, we'll see you next week, where we will be demoing the big mill, wide slabber.
Wide slabber, yeah.
So, just go in and hit subscribe on our YouTube channel to be notified about the coming live streams. and go to logosol.com and sign up for the newsletter, where you also will be notified for the coming live streams that we're planning. So until next week, take care, stay safe.
Bye bye.
Bye.